Welcome back to the Judge Necessary podcast, where we got the opinions like DC, we're crazy like Gaethje, and we're as high as O'Malley. We're the podcast for fight fans that want to see fists fly and don't want to wait on the judges. I'm your host, Brick, and as always, my cornerman, Nil.
How we doing?
Today, we are joined by a very special guest, making his one championship debut, James Yang.
What's up,
Thanks
guys?
for coming on.
How we doing? How we doing? How we feeling?
Feeling great, man. Looking forward to
Yeah.
perform, get back out there and do my thing.
Where are you located right now? Where are we situated?
Seattle, Washington. Actually, Shoreline, Washington is where I'm at right now. I'm just chilling
Okay.
in my crib.
And when do you think you'll make the trek?
We'll be leaving
Right.
next Friday on, I think it's the 18th. Yeah,
Okay.
18th. Yeah, 17th or 18th. So
You
one
think
more
that'll
week.
give you think that'll be enough time to kind of adjust to the time difference and fighting over in Singapore?
Yeah, I mean, usually I have a harder time acclimating to the time when I come back from Asia. So going there is not too bad. And, reality, the time what we're doing to be doing, or just me stuck in the room the whole time anyway. So
Right.
I don't want to stay. But then the time I have is like 10 days or whatever. So I think it's good. Just get in, handle my business, and get out. It's like a bounty hunt. Just a bounty on this guy's head, go into their business and get the hell out of there. You know what I'm saying?
I respect it.
Hey, I love that. And obviously, like we said, making a debut, but I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit going into it. So if I got it right, so we spent time in Beijing, we're fluent in Mandarin, was in the Lion and Dragon dance team, was in Cirque du Soleil, spent over 3 years at the Shaolin Temple learning Kung Fu, trained at Shai Kai Hai. I know I definitely screwed that up, where Jet Li trained, and have been in the corner and been the training partner of one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time. So my question is, like the Dos Equis commercials, are you the most interesting man in the world?
I don't know about all of that, but as a martial artist, man, I'm just on my journey and doing my thing, man. I also lived in a gym in Thailand for a while too. I actually lived in the gym, and
Wow.
that was a special thing for me, man. Like living in Thailand, living in Phuket, Thailand, that's a beautiful thing too, because you go running in the jungles, and it's like there's elephants on the side of the road. So that was a special time as well. So man, I just living this journey, following my passion, and it's just leading me on this epic ride. So I'm just riding along.
I'm a big fan of the Tiger Muay Thai tryouts. That series, was that something similar to what you were doing?
Yeah, so Tiger Muay Thai was on like the other side of the island. Phuket was like more isolated away from the city and more deeper, like
Gotcha.
closer, more in the jungles.
Okay.
But yeah, the difference is that in Simbi Muay Thai is like a pure Muay Thai gym. Like Sanchai trained there for a while, and that's what kind of led me to go over there. And at the time, I was
Smart
like,
move.
yeah, man. I mean, he was one of the best of of all time. So it was
Right.
definitely a huge inspiration. So I went there, trained there. And I also trained at the Yokkao gym in Bangkok for a little bit as well. But yeah, man, Thailand's a beautiful place as well.
Yeah, I just kind of thought it was incredible because, like, obviously, a lot of people who are making their first debut, like, they have not seen as many things in a lifetime that you have, And I kind of wanted to get into a little bit of that. Like, what is it like kind of being the teammate of DJ? What kind of experience being in his corner? And, like, what do you think that's going to bring to your debut?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm very privileged to be on this journey with him. I mean, we started training together. It's been about like 7 years together now, and I mean, it just all comes down to chemistry, man. I mean, honestly, that's what it is. If he didn't, we trained that day in day out, and if you don't like each other, you're gonna like each other, or you're gonna hate each other, and it just works out that we had a good bond together. We have the same drive, and we help each other, push each other, get better, and it just all kind of worked out, in that situation. And he's gonna be in my corner. He's been in my corner for all my amateur fights. And so he's been there every step of the way. And he's been a great mentor to me. And yeah, I just keep learning from him day in, day out, whether it's in the gym or out of the gym, man. He's just a stand-up guy. And yeah, man, it's been going good.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's going to be kind of awesome to have someone who's kind of been there, done that, especially I can't imagine what it's like trying to, obviously you've been in, martial arts your entire life, it seems like, but to make a debut on such a big stage, such a big card, one at Revolution, like it's going to be a huge stage. I wonder what that experience of, maybe seeing things before, really, do you feel like there's a pressure off you, or is this is your show now?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm different in that sense. I mean, when the fight card was announced, and of course I was excited as a fan and everything. It's an amazing card. Every fight on the card has potentially fight of the night or exciting fights. But as the fight draws closer, I just kind of get in this more like Zen mode, just kind of just cool, calm, and collected kind of mode because it's just how I've always been. If I get too riled up and caught up in the moment of it, it takes me out of my focus and out of the zone. So I just as it gets closer, I just smooth out and just chill and just get ready for combat.
So I've seen in DJ's career that he was doing a lot of tournaments in like Muay Thai, kickboxing, different realms and different aspects of MMA, and that really helped him, in my eyes, blend it all together. Did you sort of take that similar approach when you were traveling all around and going to these places? Was that sort of the idea from it, or did it just kind of happen that way?
A bit of both. I've always wanted to the best well-rounded martial artist that I can be. So I still want to keep traveling and training and learning from all sorts of places. I was in Holland for a little bit as well, and I definitely want to go back, train more there. Would love to train in Japan. Just involve myself, immerse myself more in different styles of martial arts, whether it's unarmed or armed combat. Because weapons is a whole nother game of it. And you gotta learn that too.
That's a whole nother mental focus.
Yeah, man, but when you have something that you love and you're passionate about, and that's all I've dreamed about doing, you gotta go after it, man. That's just how I've always lived my life. But yeah, as my coach is very big on having us compete in multiple competitions in different disciplines, just to see where you're at and where you can improve. Because every aspect of the game you can always get better at it, and the best way to find, my opinion, is through live competition with guys that are, some guys are just solely focused on that single aspect. So if you can hang with those guys and start, finishing those guys, and then you're able to blend that all together, then you're going to be a better mixed martial artist for sure.
I don't know if this is even a real question, but do you have any idea how many total fights across mixed martial arts you've had? I don't need a record, but how many times you've stepped in a cage, ring, mat?
I've been competing since I was like a kid, so it's been a lot of competitions, and some of those days are like tournament days, or like 4 or 5, 6 people you fight in one day. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say any I've done, but yeah, I mean, I've had an extensive amateur career for sure. And when I was living in those Shaolin academies, every month we have a test day. So every month you have to do a form and fight in front of the entire school. So you pick someone in the gym in the school that you don't like, or whatever.
Yeah.
Trying to bully one of my friends, and he's a big dude. And I was like, motherfucker, why don't you fight me instead, man? And that's just how that kind of that living that life was like. Every month was a test day, and you had to see where your skill set is at, and if you're really training through the month or not. So I mean, that's once I was there for 3 years. So you do the math of that's quite a bit of competing right there alone. So yeah, man. I mean, I've been in a lot of amateur competition for sure.
Yeah, I kind of love that, and that's definitely something I've kind of seen in one championship, as I've kind of grown as a fan of it in trying to learn more about, especially Asian mixed martial arts, is like, I feel like the culture of it is so different than what you see in America. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I don't want to call out like any UFC fighters or anything like that, where it's like sort of a diva thing or like big fight, prize fight. It's more of a job where like it seems more of like a lifestyle, and like, that's what they do. And it's way more active. It's way more, there's a lot more respect, obviously, a lot of times. Like, it's a way of life.
Yeah, I mean, with martial arts, and especially a lot of every Asian culture has martial arts is very dear and important to them. Whether you're in Thailand, you're in China, you're in Japan, Korea, Vietnam, wherever you're at, every country has their own martial art that holds national pride. So it has a huge cultural significance above everything else. That's a huge factor in it. But yeah, with like other promotions, I just feel like a lot of people are running with the WWE model. That I mean, that's just what they're doing. And there's like gimmicks, and there's like all that. But the reality is, yeah, I mean,
the WWE model.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that's how a lot of guys are trying to get paid out here, which it works in certain markets, But in reality, I much prefer authenticity. So you can always tell if a guy has stuff that's rehearsed and not. And so for me, it's just trying to be true to myself, and that's what it's all about.
See, and that's honestly what I love because like that's honestly what we started this podcast and why we want to start interviewing fighters is it's like we want to bring these real people who honestly are some of the baddest killers on the planet, you know, and like sometimes I feel like the human aspect of it kind of gets taken out of it. And I love to see that it doesn't have to be this shtick. It doesn't have to be this, you know, gimmick or I hate this guy, you know, and obviously
Right.
there can be bad blood between people, but you know, I love to see the people who just truly love like the sport and
I mean, I'm trying to watch a fighter for how they fight, not what they say online. Just like
right.
that's I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's nothing personal. I mean, we're all trying to make a living and support our families,
Right.
and chase our dreams and chase our goals. You know, that's what everyone stepping in the ring is doing. So I respect everyone that does it. You know, yeah. So I don't have any animosity towards anyone, but once you're in there, it's kill or be killed. So you have to turn that switch on. But out of competition, I'm not walking around the streets looking to like fight nobody. You know, I'm not like a psycho. You know what I mean? You know, I have a but that's about it. You know, I don't look for trouble. It just if it comes, then I know how to protect myself. But that's the extent of where it goes. You know, I'm not like a bloodthirsty guy. But once you go into the ring, you have like I think everyone has that animal instinct to turn that switch on. And
right.
so,
And I honestly think, and this is just my opinion, but I think it's a more sustainable, especially for a long career, to be that authentic fighter and everything. Because I think with the gimmick or like this like superstar buildup, once you lose and that you know invincibility goes away, you know, no one really cares anymore. But when you build your way, I mean, one of your good friends, DJ, that everything was authentic, everything was like, hey, this is just what I do. This is the business I'm trying to do. He took care of a lot of a business along the way, which helped him out. But, you know, I think even when he went over to one championship and had some struggles, like everyone still had the utmost respect for him because his record isn't what defined him.
No, handling a loss is just as important as handling a win.
definitely, man, it's all about it shows true character is what it shows. So, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing him bounce back and showing the world why he's the greatest. But yeah, I mean, just the way he handled the whole thing is to me makes him makes him the greatest. You know, that was nothing but respect for that and admiration for that.
For sure.
So debut fight coming in at featherweight.
Yeah.
What is the weight cut like? Because I know people fight at one championship, they tend to fight more their natural weight. But I want to hear your thoughts on it. You prefer it?
Absolutely. I absolutely prefer it. I mean, I feel like the most dangerous aspect of mixed martial arts or in combat sports in general is the weight cut. I feel like there's the knowledge in that is it's like so limited. Like not everyone has a clear cut answer on what to do, what protocol to follow. And if you're more than 10 pounds of weight, water weight prior to a fight, you know, you're taking out synovial fluid away out of your brain that your brain floats in and your joints to protect your joints. And even if you IV drip in a 24-hour time frame, that's not enough time for your body to rejuvenate those fluids. And imagine you have those fluids depleted now and you get cracked in the head. I mean, that's everlasting now. You know, that's not going to be, I mean, no one knows. And also knows the long-term effects on your organs as well and on those severe weight cuts. So I really think that more organizations need, or even just combat sports in general, need to start adapting, either adapt the way the one championship is doing it, where you're fully hydrated, you have larger weight allowance, or just add more weight classes. You know, it's one or the other. I mean, there's such a disparity between guys that are like 170 to 185 to 205. And it's like you can be on the short end of the stick and just barely make 170, and you find a guy that walks around like 210 pounds that cuts the 170. You know, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's preposterous right now.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think it's one of the and like you said, it's like you get such a disparity because then you see guys who are naturally in that division who are fighting guys who are 25 pounds more than them because they went through some crazy cuts and stuff like that.
And I think the durability down. I think the fans lose out on great fights. You know, then they get clipped and they just fall down. It's like, dude, maybe if they had some more fluid around their brain, they would have been able to take that shot better. You'd have a more amazing fight out of, you know, it'd be better for everybody, the athletes, the fans. I think it'd be, yeah. So that's what I think about it. But I really appreciate one championship and how they revised the whole, not just the scoring system, but the weight cut system too.
Yeah, I mean, even with how I've kind of talked to, you know, a few other one championship fighters, that kind of seems to be the consensus too. And it seems when I, saw that one championship fighter seemed to be a little more active than some of the other promotions, at first I thought it was a lot of that culture, which I think has something to do with it. But I think just everyone staying at a healthier, more natural weight all year long keeps you in just better athletic shape. You can compete more often instead of doing these crazy peaks and then you're getting back on a normal weight, then a crazy cut, and just like, yeah, you can only do that so many times in a year.
100%, or even in your life, even who knows how many years you're shaving off your life and you're cutting severe weight. So you're only gonna find that out as this sport grows and goes on for a longer time. But yeah.
So when you sign the line to fight somebody, it's like 140 to 150 pounds, like allowance. Like, how does that work?
145 to 155. So I have a 10-pound allowance. So I'll be walking in at 155. Right now I'm walking at 158. So I'm right on weight.
Right, and we're now
That's
3
perfect.
weeks? 3 weeks out when we're recording this. I think it'll only be about 2 weeks when we release it, but like that's normal. Like, all right, you got a few pounds
That's
to shave.
sustainable.
Yeah, you got a few pounds to shave off. That'll probably just happen naturally in the gym, and you're good to go.
Yeah,
Like,
is this Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry about that.
I mean,
but no, I was just basically saying that it just seems way more sustainable. Where it's just like, and even in the idea of like short notice fights and things like that, like if you were called upon to fight in a week or two, it's not ideal, but you probably could.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually, my last fight I had was on a week's notice, and I had a great performance. I actually felt better coming in on a week's notice. So I mean, that's another benefit of having all that amateur experience. You go through all these different scenarios that that comes up in the pros. You're not gonna be shook or scared about it because I fought sick. I mismanaged my weight cuts early on in those fights. And I came in way underweight, and I was like my immune system was shot. And that was I made it through the fight, and it was a great experience because that was a learning experience, and I never happened again. I learned how to take care of my body better, how to make sure I'm taking a proper vitamin intake, just not depleting myself to the point where I'm like, starving myself to death in the fight. You should be feeling good.
All right. And I know we were told by your PR team you're a little tight on time, so we'll try to keep it tight. So just a few more questions I had for you. Speaking of starving, what is your favorite food inside camp and outside camp? I know we just talked about there's not as much, it kind of blends nowadays, but.
Yeah, well, I'm a big foodie, so I love a lot of stuff. But in camp, I've just been eating the same meals day in, day out. And that's but yeah, it's been a lot of chicken and a lot of salmon with rice and oatmeal with cinnamon and fruits, and that's all I've been grubbing down on. But out of camp, I'm gonna go have me a big old barbecue, ribs, and all this crap. It's maybe cheese pizza. Woo! I can't wait to have some of that. But that ain't a very rare thing, But I'm gonna dig in after this fight for sure.
Definitely. If you're already out in Seattle, if you ever find your way down to Arizona, we'll go get some good Mexican.
Hell yeah, I would love that, man. What parts of Arizona are you guys in?
We're right in Tempe on like the Scottsdale border.
Scottsdale border, Tempe, Scottsdale border. All right.
Yeah, right, guys by ASU.
And get you some salmon.
Oh yeah.
What is the ideal length of a fight camp for you? If you had to pick.
It's about 8 weeks. 8 weeks out is probably the proper amount to fully prepare. But I mean, I stay active all year round. I'm not right. I'm always in the gym, and in fact, my coaches have to kick me out sometimes. I'm overdoing it out of camp. So I was like, I just want to get back. Whatever happens in this fight, I just want to get back and reassess and get back to the gym and train with my guys. That's what I live for.
Love it.
All right, 2 final questions we ask all our fighters these. First off, you get to pick dream venue for your big fight. Like you're finally on that poster anywhere in the world. Where are you fighting?
Yeah. I mean, I want to bring one championship to America, man. That's the goal, Whether it be in Vegas, Madison Square Garden, any big arena. If they open an arena here in Seattle again, like Key Arena, not Key Arena now, it's called something else now, but we're the home of the Krakens. But I would love to pack that stadium out or arena out, or even where the Seahawks play. I mean, that'd be incredible. So, just bringing one championship to the States, I think that'd be a huge goal. Maybe even to Arizona, and the guys
Hey,
All right, let's go.
I'm in. If I have any pull or any way to, get the laws passed, get these rules set, and get them out here, like I'm in there. We need it. And then,
yes,
final question before we get you out here. We got the hot tub time machine. Any one fight event, it can be Muay Thai, boxing, MMA. You get to sit front row. What is that one event you can go to?
ooh man, I go back to Marvin Hagler and Tommy Hearns.
Ooh,
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Throwback.
In round of all time, man, that was amazing.
Insane fight.
Hagler Hearns, baby.
All right. Well, before we let you go, obviously check them out. One Championship Revolution. It's going to be an absolute banger of a card, absolute banger of a fight. Anything you want to plug before you go?
Oh man, just tune in September 24th. You already said it, so you already know. It's gonna be an amazing night of fights and electrifying fights. So just tune in and have fun, y'all. It's gonna be exciting.
Let's go.
Hey.
First fight of the night. Our boy James Yang on the card.
Love
Let's
it.
tune in.
Open invite. You ever want to come back? You ever want to just talk? Let us know.
Absolutely, man. I'm very thankful for you guys having me, and I'm looking forward to talking to you guys again in the future.
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
Appreciate it. Much love.